I'm going to go out on a limb. I feel good. Tonight is the night the losing streak comes to an end. We got new blood in the lineup, new guys who are looking for their first major league hit. And Paul DeJong, with the wind blowing out, maybe he adds to his total tonight.
Later that same evening.
Swing and a drive deep to right field. This thing is back. It is gone.
Few moments later.
Swing the ground ball to the left side, through into left field. That's a base hit. Wong scores right behind him. Hamilton.
Moments later.
Swinging a high drive in the deep right center field. This thing carrying back at the wall. Gone.
Moments later.
For the Sox tonight. Nice job here going the other way for a single. Devers rounding third. He's going to score. The pitch that's up the middle and through into center field. That's a base hit. Tyler O'Neill is waved home. In two. Through the hole for a base hit. That'll score Dom Smith. And a 3-hit game for Cedar Rafaela. 10-0 Boston.
4 moments later.
A special moment. Swing and drive on deep to left. DeLoach back it up. And that ball is gone. Home run.
14-2. 14 the number tonight. That is 14 straight losses for the Chicago White Sox, a new franchise record.
I feel good. Tonight is the night the losing streak comes to an end.
This is a lie.
You know what? Credit to him, he was just a day late on his prediction. The White Sox actually ended up winning the next game, but the baseball gods couldn't even let that happen without a jab at them. Even when they win, they still have a moment only the White Sox would have.
This one out to left. This could be it. And it's dropped by Ellis.
So if you're part of the 70% of viewers not subscribed yet, come aboard and join the wonderful subscribers of the channel. And picture this: you get fired from your job and then fall down and break your leg, and then you go to the hospital and the doctor laughs at you, throws water in your face, sends you home, only for you to find your wife cheating on you with your best friend. Then you wake up, phew, it was all a dream, and then you realize, nope, it's still real. You're just waking up from passing out, and then you fall again and break your arm. If you couldn't already guess, I'm explaining the Chicago White Sox. I was trying to find the best way to explain the White Sox right now, and I think I got it. Imagine if Tommy Wiseau created a baseball team. You get the 2024 Chicago White Sox. Barack Obama's team has been so unbelievably bad in every conceivable way, yet it's almost like too bad to be true, so bad to the point where it's kind of intriguing. It's fascinating, it really is. I mean, this team makes no sense. Everyone is bad except like two guys. One of them knows Muay Thai and wants to fight everyone. You have an announcer who treats the team like they're the Avengers. Your highest paid player in franchise history has been one of the worst hitters in baseball. Your catcher is legitimately the worst hitter in baseball history. The fans are starting to do friendly fire and throw bottles into the White Sox dugout. Ironically, in the game, the White Sox went on to finally win after 14 straight losses. I mean, they literally did a pickoff move to first base in that same game with nobody on first base, and so the runner at third base, Jan Duran, happily went home to score and quote-unquote stole home. And they couldn't even get that right, as the ball meant to get the imaginary runner was thrown away. How can you not love this team? It's honestly a fun time, just on the edge of your seat waiting to see what happens next. And I don't know exactly what it'll be, but spoiler alert, it'll probably be bad, like really bad, and I'm so here for it. Not that anyone went into this season expecting the White Sox to be good at all, but to be this bad, nobody predicts this kind of stuff to this extent. But what's crazy is when you think about it, 2 years ago, the White Sox were in what they and their fans thought was the official beginning of a potential dynasty, or at the very least, a good, consistent winning era of White Sox baseball. 2021 was the first official White Sox playoff season since 2008. They made it in 2020, but 2021 was the first real year that finally showed the fruits of the franchise's labor. After losing for more than a decade, things were looking up for the franchise. They had a really good offense, one of the best shortstops in baseball, good pitching, won the division with 93 wins, all while having some really good young players who were already showing their potential. Also, of course, being part of the future. Plus, they did all of this with a living corpse who the players hated in their dugout as their manager. Pretty amazing stuff. So 2022 was an exciting year with big expectations in the South Side, except things just didn't quite turn out how they should have, considering this was supposed to be the continuation of 2021, an even better version of that team. And they weren't bad by any means. In fact, they had a good amount of talent, but they were just there overall, not really being much of a threat, and finishing exactly at 500 to finish the year. But people weren't thinking rebuild mode or a disaster team because of this. Yeah, it's a step back to go from 93 wins to 81, but the expectations were still there for the White Sox, which is why you can legitimately make the argument that as soon as just 1 year ago, the White Sox still viewed themselves as a contender and threat. And in that year since, they've gone from that to not just back to rebuilding, but they're the worst team in baseball. The worst team in baseball that doesn't look like it has any winning in their future for the next 5 to 10 years. Seriously, it's become dreadful. And again, it's just so wild because we're not that far removed from a White Sox team that we were supposed to like watch out for and that was expected to be so good. A team for the now and future. They couldn't be more opposite from that now. Tim Anderson, who was once viewed as one of the best shortstops in baseball, was statistically the worst qualified hitter in baseball last season. And as if things couldn't get any worse, Anderson would get knocked out in a fight that he started. Anderson has since gone on to join an awful Marlins team. Update, he's been worse this year. Andrew Benintendi's situation with the team also makes little to no sense. He was a pretty good player in Boston, and after getting traded to the Royals, then becoming a free agent, he signs with the White Sox. Okay, that all sounds normal, but it's the fact that Benintendi and the $75 million he signed for is the biggest contract in White Sox history. Andrew Benintendi, he's the highest paid player, and he's also not just the worst hitter on the White Sox, but one of the worst hitters in baseball right now. That should just tell you everything regarding Jerry Reinsdorf and how the White Sox are run in a nutshell, which is why everyone and their mother is crying for the White Sox to sell the team. A team that has nothing other than a couple guys who will be on other teams within the next month or two, and even those guys, the best hitters on the team in particular, haven't been that good. It just hasn't been fun. Not for the players, not for the fans, but you know what? I'll tell you who is having fun, who's having a blast, and that's John Schriffen, the new White Sox announcer. And let me tell you, this guy does not care how many L's the team has this year. He's treating this team like they're on pace to win 122 games, rather than the reality that is the pace that they're on to lose 122 games. He's just incredibly pro-team, which is totally fine. But he is pretty over the top, I'll admit, but I'll also admit that I like it. It may be corny and just kind of wild considering the White Sox are in the running for the worst team of all time, literally. But I mean, hey, this team needs all the entertainment they can get, and to have an announcer treating this god-awful team like they're superheroes is just hilarious. And the best part is the fact that I'm pretty sure he's doing it unironically. Schriffen is genuinely fired up and ready to go to war alongside this 2024 Chicago White Sox team. It makes absolutely no sense, and again, I'm here for it. He also despises the Cubs and refuses to shake hands with one of their radio guys, Matt Spiegel, who, to be fair, did accuse Schriffen of not knowing baseball, saying, "Give a crap and do some research once you get the job." Schriffen responded during a game,
Hey, it's my first game. You're good. If any of those radio losers clip it and try to make fun of you, nobody cares about them anyway.
You know what?
When Spiegel approached Schriffen in the booth during a Cubs-White Sox game, according to Spiegel, he introduced himself and reached out for a handshake, only for Schriffen to give him a shoulder pad and walk away without saying much. I mean, hey, you're either with the Southsiders or you're the enemy. After breaking their recent 14-game losing streak, this was Schriffen's call.
After 14 L's in a row, Southside, stand up!
Schriffen is doing calls like that for the worst team in baseball that hadn't won a game in 2 weeks. Can you imagine if the White Sox won the World Series? He'd probably start floating and have lasers coming out of his eyes and have a reaction every single soul in the universe would feel. I live for that day. But unfortunately, that day does not look to be anytime soon. And I always forget, but when you look at it, the White Sox have a pretty miserable franchise history. It's not just right now. They won the World Series in 2005, which is great, but even that gets shit on as the most forgettable World Series of all time. Like, can this franchise get anything going their way? It's insane. In their 124-year history, the White Sox have only made the postseason in 11 of them, and 2 of those aren't even really valid. 1919 featured the infamous Black Sox scandal, where the team lost the World Series on purpose for money, and over 100 years later they made the postseason in 2020, but like, okay, who cares? They had a 40-year stretch of missing the postseason from 1919 to 1959, then another 24 years. The White Sox just rarely make the playoffs, that's the point. They have a legacy of losing. So 2024 hasn't been necessarily out of character for this franchise. It's more so just the timing of it that's so crazy. And when your owner is Jerry Reinsdorf, yeah, you're going to have to hope the team gets sold. Seems like the only viable option at this point if you ever want to see the White Sox win again, let alone consistently. But until then, sit back, relax, and enjoy what we have going on right now on the South Side. Because I'm still not quite sure exactly what it is, but it's historic and it's intriguing. I know that. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.